a spectacle and a lesson to such of the wrongdoers as arrive from time to time. It is among the powerful that we find the especially wicked men. They have to have that power. So they're incurable because of the enormity of their crimes. That's all. The enormity of their crimes. Now, this whole thesis of this eternal punishment comes from one line in the Gorgias. One line. So I'll read you the line. Right? Therefore, he now talks about these terrible, incurable wrongdoers. Among them, I say, Archelaus also will be found, if what Polus tells us is true, and every other despot of this sort. And I think, moreover, that most of these examples have come from despots and kings and potentates, public administrators. For these, since they have a free hand, commit the greatest and the most impious offenses. Homer also testifies to this, for he has represented kings and potentates as those who are punished everlastingly in the other world. Tantalus, Sisyphus, Titus. But Thyestes, or any other private person who is wicked, has been portrayed by none as incurable and therefore subjected to heavy punishment, no doubt because he didn't have a free hand, and therefore was in fact happier than those who had. Homer also testifies to this, for he has represented kings and potentates and those who are punished everlastingly in the other world. Everlastingly in the other world. All right? That's there very clear. Everlastingly in the other world. This is where most people conclude that the incurable therefore go there forever. It's everlasting. It's in this other world, and there's no way out. Let me read this once more for you. Homer also testifies to this. Right. For he has represented kings and potentates as those who are punished everlastingly in the next world. Now, this is if we didn't have this word, if, say, Homer testifies to this, then it would be Homer's view. What does this do?
It's also the opinion of the writer.
Includes the opinion of the writer. Now, this is not a semicolon, this is a period. Now, I want to write it the way it is in the Greek and English. Testifies to this also Homer. That's the way it appears. And this word is the word and. And when it doesn't have a parallel structure, it often takes the word also. So, testifies to this also Homer. But this whole thesis and its impact on the whole world of Platonic thought and those influenced by Plato, this could also be written this way. And Homer testifies to this, period. Now, if that's the case, you see, in what was just said, and I think, moreover, most of those examples have come from despots, kings, and potentates, and public administrators. For these, since they have had a free hand, commit the greatest and the most impious offenses. Homer testifies to this. See, there's no antecedent dealing with everlasting punishment. Therefore, it may be just Homer who is adding that, not Plato. Right. So this whole thing depends upon one funny little word right here. Isn't that curious? The whole thing hangs on that. Because you could say, and Homer testifies to this, and also, or even with also Homer testifies to this, but the point that was made referring to this is not everlasting punishment, but despot, kings, and potentates, and public administrators, for these have had a free hand and commit the greatest and the most impious offenses. Well, hey, Homer talks about that. That's all it means. By the way, Homer adds something, everlasting punishment. So there's this whole thesis rests upon an ambiguous phrase, an ambiguous sentence, where you have to decide, you have to make a judgment, and it's a personal judgment based upon the way you read it, and hopefully from some kind of study of grammar, of which way it goes. But let me give you another alternative. Whenever you have a whole theory depending upon one word, it's weak in principle. The author, if it's that significant, you have to look somewhere else for it in clearer language, or you can't nail a whole thesis on this kind of an ambiguity. And that's typical of Plato. So therefore, look here. The real thing, therefore, is in this dialogue, he spends a great deal of time on one issue, and that is, what is it in life that benefits a man? Right? Benefits mankind. What is it? Now, since he's putting all his effort in exploring this in the waking world, this leads to the conclusion, if not by omission, that this is the place for learning. This is the chance for growth and development and psychic development. And he has basically a grid. 4 things. He said, you know what? He says, when you're concerned with the body, there are 2 particular activities that are absolutely essential because the body breaks down. So you need gymnastics, and that's the whole, what we would call all of the processes that make man in his physical form excellent. Right? Great health, great yoga, hatha yoga, all of those things. He said, but you also have some